We're back for the review. That's why I always ask you guys, do you want us to do the official or not? So there you go. That's what happened, but we're coming back. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll be back. We're going to be able to review the song. It's all good. Perk is back. Bates is back. And let's change this. Let's change that. I think we're back. Boom. There's our beautiful thingamajiggy. No, that wasn't a crash. That was Century Media blocked the video. So when a video gets blocked doing a live stream, that's what happens. Yep, Zombie Holic, we did the official video. So if we generally try to go with what the DJ says, because the DJ is the boss at that point. So if the DJ wants the official, we generally try to go in that direction. It was Pray for Fire. Shout out to Overshadow Sean. Overshadow Shaw's in the house. Pray for Fire by the band Oceans of Slumber. Oceans of Slumber, ladies and gentlemen.
As soon as we see AT back in here.
Yes, we finished. Yeah, you guys got cut off like right at the very, very, very end of the song. So we're in decent shape. There's no way he's gonna dodge that shit, B. Emily J in the house. Boom bap.
No AT yet.
Yeah, so DJ AT.
We need our DJ back.
DJ AT's on the way back, inshallah. It took me into the Nick Nocturnal. The lady from Oceans of Slumber is so pretty. Yeah, that song was a banger, bro. That was a really, really good song. And it was very it's kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. But I love the visuals. I think we're going to enjoy those visuals tonight, inshallah. Yeah, that was wicked. Ginger and Arch Enemy had a kid, I swear. Yeah, she's got they
I thought it sounded like OTEP a little bit.
Yeah, we finished it. We just got cut off at like literally the last second of the song. So don't worry about that. But we wanted to wait for you, DJ AT, before we went into our review, which is beginning now.
And when this video cuts up, like when we upload it, you'll be able to see the tail end of the reviewing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it isn't YouTube. It's the record companies. If YouTube doesn't respect copyrights, they could get sued into oblivion. It's true. Guns N' Roses really hates our channel. We had a Vimeo channel for our patrons. And the Vimeo channel actually got shut down like completely. Like they killed our channel.
Yep.
And then
be shutting us down everywhere. Got that shut down.
Yeah.
TikTok got shut down.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Okay, so having said that, the drumming, the musicianship in this song was really insane, and the song was pretty ambitious because there was a lot of rhythm changes.
Mm-hmm. There was a ton of them.
A lot of atmosphere changes. I think some of the transitions kind of felt sudden to me. There wasn't a lot of subtlety in the transitions.
Yes.
And I think Tool is really good at that. Like Tool, you'll listen to Tool for like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And in that 2 minutes, you went from, minor chord, slow tempo, mm-hmm. and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's major chord, fast tempo, and you're like, how did that happen? Mm-hmm. And you really don't notice it because they're so subtle in their transitions. Mm-hmm. These ones were a little bit more jagged, mm-hmm. But I understood what they were trying to do. And, people use that term epic a lot, and I think that the term epic is probably an overused word.
I agree.
But I do think that they were going for epicness in this song.
Definitely.
Like, especially like toward the middle and the end, that's what I'm saying. It was ambitious. And, as a guy who listens to, I've listened to over 2,000 songs, on this channel. And obviously I've listened to music all my life. You really begin to appreciate when a band is trying to do something ambitious, mm-hmm. when the band is trying to do something different, and when they're really trying to, think outside of the box, you really appreciate it because you realize how rare it is. Because I mean, the fact of the matter is, it is so easy to do what everybody else is doing. That was most seen most clearly during the nu metal era, because it was so simple and because it was so easy. There were a lot of bands that were created a dime a dozen, and a lot of them really weren't trying to do anything, unique. Mm-hmm. And obviously the labels weren't trying to do anything unique. They were trying to make money. Saying it, no disrespect to them, but that's what they were trying to do. So I love it when bands are trying to do something that other bands aren't doing, or they're trying to lift the genre up to a different degree. That's why I had so much respect for Magua, Batushka, bands like that. So anyway, Pray for Fire, and now also seen in the metalcore era. Correct. Okay, so what did you think of the song? What was like the overarching kind of theme of the song to you guys? Also, Perkinos, Sean, etc. Give me updates on how the audio sounds, okay? Like, is the audio good? Can you hear it? Is it close? Too loud? Am I too loud? Is Sori too loud? Etc. Okay.
Okay, so I have a couple things to say. One of them is I love the art on the album cover. It's just absolutely...
Yeah, it's really cool looking.
I just could write a whole book off that one picture. It's just friggin' incredible. There's so many ways you could go with that. And I love pictures that are like darkness with like some really bright light coming out. Probably why I love Kai's picture that we have above our bed.
Yeah.
Is because I like the idea that there is, but it's piercing through and it's unstoppable. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, like people are like, you guys really friends with these people? I'm like, well, one of my buddies got us a picture or whatever, and now it hangs over our bed, literally. So
you do with it what you will.
Do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Continue. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that was really cool. And then the song, I liked it. I agree that the transitions were a little bit...
They're a little bit jagged.
It's so funny because you said they were choppy. I felt like they were too slow because I'm good with like them doing stark transitions because it seemed like this person was hitting different points in this journey.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt like it was a little slow to transition into the next one. But the girl's voice is very, very good. And that eerie singing at the end was, oh my word. It had this sound of death, but this sound of glory also. Just intertwined. Just absolutely beautiful. Loved that. Her voice reminded me of Otep, and I liked that when she was like doing the speaking part.
Really? Otep?
Yeah, at the beginning I was
like
thinking
Otep
like
Shemaiah?
Yeah.
White
Otep? Yeah, that's
I would have never thought
that's
of
what
that.
was coming into my head when it first started. Then she did that speaking part, and I liked the way her voice sounded, like the theatrics that she put into her voice when she was doing that part. Loved it. I did feel like she didn't push herself though. I really wanted her to go nuts with her voice, and she went up, but I felt like she could have gone more.
Yeah, especially during the talking part. I thought that there was going to be a giant like.
Yes, and I was waiting for that the whole time. And it didn't, and that was a little bit disappointing to me.
But again, I was disappointed, but at the same time, I thought to myself, yeah, but Ginger already did that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, Ginger had that smooth jazz. I forgot the name of the song, but that was the song that everybody, like, you have to react to. It was the song that put Ginger on the map, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, so there was that jazzy type of subtlety, and then it went, rah, it took everybody. So I'm like, okay, Ginger already did that. Yeah. They already did that. So it's like, it's like, also like when we were writing our songs, like, okay, you're a female singer, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I know the type of range that you have. So I'm like, but so I understood, like, okay, they're not going to go like mega, like, rah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In that build up, but there are different ways to do rising action, which is what that, somebody texted me from Kentucky.
I don't know.
there's different ways to do rising action, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be rah, 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 rah. So I thought that we were going to have like a giant explosion of, some sort of heaviness or epicness would have really pushed the song in my mind to a 10. But it was still a deep song, and it was still a song where I was like, I respect the hell out of the the musicianship, particularly the rhythm section between the drums and the bass. There are a few times in the song where they actually started featuring the bass, which I thought was pretty cool. Sonically, it was great. I felt like they left a couple. I felt like they left a couple $1 million on the table.
I agree,
because they really could have like, this would be one of those songs where I'd be like, this is a good enough song. Like, we could release this song, but it would be one I would sit on for a little bit. And just like one more little tweak would have made this like a classic song.
I agree. I mean, the lyrics were, there were so many, I'm assuming it kind of sounded like maybe it had to do with the Christians when they came in the
Vlad, if I were you, I'd wait on that. I'd wait on that, Vlad, if I were you. Okay, go ahead.
The Crusades or something like that. I didn't know if that was kind of where they were going. For
lyrically,
me, yeah. For me, it didn't. Come on in, honey. For me, it didn't go there. Obviously, I loved the art in the lyrics. A light dimmed and faded from the sky. Malice it formed in the strife of what transpired. Craters formed right where we fell. Will we get back up? Waiting in the dark. So there's this massive fall. And maybe this is just like a story or something. But for me, it was a spiritual thing. You know what I do with that. So it was, everybody goes through these different things where it was like, well, that was the major fall. Like, and I've had things, you've had things, we've all had things where it was like your deepest and darkest moments. And obviously, I mean, we don't know what next year holds. Maybe the dark one's coming, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But looking backwards, the darkest moments, will we get back up? Dying and alone, my roots are buried deep. And that line to me was like, because I love the idea of like the roots of a tree just like bearing down into the ground and withstanding whatever comes around it because it has such strong roots. And biblically speaking, that's our Christianity. That it's our roots in the ground, like our trust and belief in God and Jesus. That's the depths of our roots. And that has been what has gotten me through many a dark nights.
Yeah.
But she says, but here among the thorns, the climb is much too steep. And the thorn part reminded me of, Jesus on the cross. He had the crown of thorns.
Yeah.
And so
there's definitely like religious imagery in this.
Yeah.
I wish Jambi was here because he'd be like, shout out to Jambi. Go ahead.
But Earthborn were bound. So I loved all of that. Then the cross part here.
We got to go. Whoa.
I'm talking, and then you can do yours. You want to go back into that one? You want to break yours down now?
I want to talk about the second verse. You just went past the second verse like nothing, bro.
I didn't even realize I scrolled past it. No, I didn't scroll past it. I talked about it a little bit. Go ahead. You have something to say?
Well, she says, the sky holds our purpose, but Earthborn we're bound.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So the sky holds our purpose. Our purpose is held in the sky, originated in the sky, but we're earthbound. We're bound, but we'll persevere because we belong a long way from here.
Wow. Well, it says they fell.
That's craters formed right where we fell, which means it's not like she slipped on a banana peel.
Right. Because a crater, and they came down.
You wouldn't create a crater. You would not create a crater by slipping on a banana peel.
Right.
That would mean you would have to fall from a very high height. So it's kind of like fallen angels sort of
That's
imagery.
what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, and then it says the sky holds our purpose, but we're earthbound. So the sky could be, God holds our purpose, but we're here. So like there's a disconnect between man and God. Or it could mean that we were not supposed to be here. It's a locational issue.
We belong a
long way from here. So whatever is it, and that's the stuff that we talk about. Like we talk about, what's seen as temporary, what's unseen as eternal, that we did not originate here. Like when we say who are... It's so fascinating to me that the minute a person dies, you no longer call them by their name. You say the body. It's just... That has so many implications that, like, it's automatic.
Yep.
Why do we do that? And it's like...
And they say she was gone.
Yeah, like she left us, yada, yada, yada. And like, and all it is they lost consciousness. That's all it is. You lost consciousness forever, though. Or you lost consciousness in this realm forever, supposedly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it amazes me that people scoff at the idea of life after death or religion or whatever, and we literally don't know the first thing about consciousness.
I know.
It's literally called the hard problem of consciousness. We have no idea where it came from. We have no idea that, hell, we're not even sure that there's one consciousness for one person. We're not even sure about that. Right. And I'm not talking about a disordered multiplicity. I'm talking about inherent multiplicity. Yep. There's just so much that we don't know. And like, for people to just go, when you're dead, it's just like, how could you know?
I know. That's the thing.
How do you know? It's like, people are like, well, what were you doing before you were born? I don't know. Do you know? Where did your consciousness come from? What part of your body is you? Like, is this me? Is this me? Is my hair follicles me? When you say me, what are you talking about? Or when you say I think, what is the I that you're referring to?
Yeah.
Because when you say think, according to a lot of people who believe that the mind and the brain are the same thing, I don't. And I think you'd have an extremely difficult time proving that the mind and the brain are the same thing. But when you say I think, the thinking part is your brain, right?
Yeah.
What is the I part then? Because you're making a distinction between I and thinking. Well, what is the I then that's thinking?
Yeah.
That, like, nobody says, like, my brain says... Like, your brain didn't name itself, bro. I don't believe that. But anyway, just can you go back to those lyrics? Those lyrics were just very, very, very curious to me. Really curious to me. Because we belong a long way from here. We refuse to fall. We refuse to fail. Is she saying we refuse to fail? Refuse to lose to their hateful ways.
Their cross.
Okay. So in the song, I thought she said the cross. But she's saying their cross. Why I thought the
Crusades.
Their cross. Well, I have an opinion about what's actually happening in this song.
Ooh.
We refuse to lose to their hateful ways, their cross high above us, but salvation has long been denied. No room for a peaceful resolution. Long gone is a hope for building any bonds. Okay, well, if you locate this temporally, this is 2020. What was happening in 2020? Well, we were having riots in the streets, the George Floyd situation, whatever. Who were the people that were full of hate or whatever? You know, it's it's a certain demographic people that carry a certain religion, right? And so you've got a lot of Christians in our current culture who, once again, find them. I mean, we're in the midst of this right now in a completely separate context, but they're on the wrong side of history again. For the 9 millionth time, right? And so it's like, I think that, you know, being able to criticize that, I think is important, because it's almost been like we're batting 1,000, like being on the wrong side of this stuff. And I don't think that a lot of these folks understand the implications of, and that's the strange thing to me about Christianity in America. It's like, I will say, this is some fucking bullshit. You're lying.
Yeah.
Vadi, you lying. You're lying, right? And the Christians were like, oh my God, he swore. Yeah. He said effing. And it's like, meanwhile,
He's lying about core Christian truths.
Correct. And we're doing all types of crazy shit to people. And people are in serious pain. And we're laughing at them and doing all types of other crazy
Russell's
shit to
here.
people. Shout out to Russell. Long time no see, big homie. So, like, yeah, it's like that's the stuff that we get exercised about. We get exercised about that, but we don't get exercised about the fact that justice is being denied and all the rest of it. And then we try to justify all that bullshit by putting Jesus on top of it, not realizing what that's doing to the movement and what we're trying to accomplish. Like, hello, dumb. So that's what it looked like to me. When you left me in darkness, I had to make my own flames, a warmth you couldn't diminish or ever take away, and I brought me to life again. And again, like there was, a lot of these cities were going up in flames. Like there was straight fire, right? Like there were riots and all the rest of it, and a lot of people were saying,
Okay, but what about this? Now I stand upon the piles of your ashes, and I look upon the waves of coming flames.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just standing in the destruction and knowing that more of it has to come because there's no change?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Or that the second fire is metaphorical in the sense that
oh my goodness.
You're going to lose, right? So we set fire to the thing, but then the edifices that we're really trying, which is the system, is over. Mm-hmm. And there's no room for a peaceful resolution because there are certain people in our society that have made it impossible to work with them because the lowest common denominator of what they will accept is unacceptable to the other side. Mm-hmm. So there are certain and that's the thing. There are certain issues in life, personally, politically, sociologically, globally. There are certain issues that cannot be compromised on. Compromising,
I totally agree.
Compromising is not always a virtue. It's not always a vice either.
Right.
I mean, it really depends on the situation and what's going on. Mm-hmm. But there are certain groups in this. I have conversations with these people, and you have friends, associates, whatever, that are on the other side of certain things. You just have to realize, like, look, this person's on the other side of you.
Yeah.
And they're not your friend.
Yeah.
And look, and it's this weird thing. People say things like, oh, I'm mature enough to still be friends with people with different political ideology than me. It's like, that's a really simplistic way of looking at the world because there are some political ideologies that will absolutely be deal breakers for me as to whether or not I will be your friend. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. I always feel like when people say that, it's like they're trying to be, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to say it out. I always feel like those people, maybe that's what you call virtue signaling. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to close the but I think that there are people, I had people on my friends list that, the posts that they were putting all the time, and instead of like learning, like I would post something that was super serious, and instead of learning from that information, like they'll make a joke about it or refute it without using facts. And it was, I could just tell it was not good for me to have that person continually doing that on every single. If somebody is there and they disagree, but they want to learn, that's different. But if somebody's there and they disagree and they don't want to bring facts and they don't want to refute your facts with, citing other things, then, they're just going to be in there just stirring up your blood pressure. I don't think it's good.
Yeah. And, it's like AT is saying, it's like, oh, I'm more tolerant than you. Well, you might be, but certain things shouldn't be tolerated. Mm-hmm. Period.
Right, right.
If some law came out that said that assaulting women should no longer be illegal, I'm not going to be friends with anybody who votes for that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not your friend. I don't go fuck how long I've known you.
Yeah.
Like, you're cool with that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, don't come around here. I never want to see you. You'll never want to see me again if I find out that you're down with that type of thing. So, like, 2020 and 2020 was I'm different with stuff. Like for me, I never, I don't have this like romantic idea of friendship and we're always gonna be friends forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not how life is, bro. Like you get a good 2 years with somebody and then they move on and you move on. It is what it is. So I don't have a problem with being like, oh, that person's on that team. Okay, see ya. Like, I have no issue with that at all. But I think a lot of people do.
People have these
people have these strange rules like I will never lose a friend over politics. What? There's mad people that I stopped talking to in 2020. And my life was a lot better for it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I would, take someone off a friends list but I am not just going to boot you off. I'm going to try to have conversation with you and see if you're open to even hearing the facts and having actual dialogue on the subject. And if the person is just closed and all they're doing is basically just trolling or whatever, then I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. But for me, like, for instance, let's use the topic of racism. What? Oh. If we talk about racism, I thought that racism happened when we were in the times of slavery, but then Lincoln came and saved everybody and freed everybody. And like, I had such a simplistic view of what happened, and that I didn't think there was any racism now, or that, in the legal system, that black people are 19% more likely to get a longer sentencing than white people doing the same types of crimes. Stuff like that I didn't know was actually true. And so when I'm coming into that information, it's horrible. And I'm coming into the information and I'm open to hearing it, probably because my husband's black and I have, mixed kids. And so I had to focus on the facts and see the facts for what they were. And so it's hard. It's hard, especially because the posts that I'll put are not always like, just like factual. They're also emotional. Yeah. So I'll talk about, like my boys and blah, blah, blah. And I want people to see what's happening. And so I'm relating the story. And then for someone to say something just so cold and ignorant is just hard. And it makes, I think a lot of times it makes me very sad. Like, how is this person? And so everybody has to know where their own limits are. So.
Yeah.
But 100%. Look at this. No room for a peaceful resolution. Long gone is a hope for building any bonds.
Yeah, there's just some people that you're not going to be, you just have to, and I get it, man. There's some friends you'll have for a lifetime, like Sean. I think I think 10 years from now, me and Sean are still going to be close. Mm-hmm. Ben. So,
yeah.
I'm not, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about, like, people are just, like, mega sentimental with this stuff. And a war broke out amongst them, and they blamed it on the dragon, not realizing it was their own nature. I mean, this is really good stuff.
Yep.
Because if I'm right, then it would be Trump, right? The dragon is Trump. And what was I saying all of last year?
Yep.
This is not about Trump.
Yep.
It's like Jimmy says, Trump is symptomatic of something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot blame this on Trump. It's really about our own nature. How does a guy like Trump get elected in a democracy? Right? Like, yeah. And the other thing is that Trump, I mean, when you look at his policies and what he actually did, accepting 1/6, he was a run-of-the-mill milquetoast Republican.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Trump's policies and compare it to Clinton's policies. In the early 90s, I mean, it's the same thing. So we love, it's that famous, Scarface. Everybody wants the bad guy, so you can blame me. You want to we love having a bad guy, a Satan figure that we can say, oh, you're the problem, you're the reason. Yeah. It's Trump. Trump brought all this racism to America. Trump is me. Oh, look at the kids in cages, and then now we know that it's not Trump that put the kids in cages. We.
Right.
Because we keep voting for these people. It's our nature. We're doing that. We're selfish people. All of us are. But, I want to be able to self-righteously point at Trump and not take responsibility for my own apathy.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you what, if it was my kids in a cage...
Right. I know.
I'm not going to say that. So I got to look at my own apathy. I can't blame Trump. I got to look at myself. I got to look at myself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But was anybody thinking about that in 2020? Hell no, bro. Everybody was
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. What do you give this song?
It's a 9.8, 9.9 maybe, 9.8.
Yeah, this is a solid 9 for me. Like I said, that middle, I really think if they would have really took another week on that middle, this would have been a really classic song, bro. Mm-hmm. I would have had this song as a soundtrack for 2020 for sure.
Well, there you go.
Shout out to the big homie Truck Turner. Having said that, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. That was a I respect Shorty.
Beautiful.
That's one of those ones where I want to send him an email and be like, yo, how close is this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How close is it? All right, the next song.
Such an interesting putting it in that light.
What you mean?
Racism. What was going on with all that?
Well, yeah, I mean, not necessarily racism per se, as much as it's about, just the unrest that we had in 2020 and how, yeah. All right, guys, we're coming right back with the Deftones. We shall return. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Child shall lead them.
Today when I was editing and I got to that part, buy our merch, Orion came in here, he took the mask, he put it on, and he went by that microphone and he goes, buy our merch! And he put his little finger up, it was so cute. He's 2.
anything Orion does, she thinks is like just the greatest thing that's ever been done ever.
He's 2 and he's acting out all these things now and nobody's telling him to do it. It's so cute.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So tragic.
Ladies and gentlemen, the name of this song is
The Spell of Mathematics.
Yep.
By Deftones, right?
The name of the band is the Deftones.
The Deftones? I don't think so. I think it's Deftones.
Well, whatever. I've been listening to this band since before I even met you, but here's Soraya deigning to tell me.
You should know that they're not called the Deftones.
They're called the Deftones.
No, they're not. They're called Deftones.
How do you know? I'm not even going to argue.
I'm looking right at their stuff.
Here we go, guys. The Deftones.
No, Deftones.
The spell of mathematics. Let's go.
Deftones. Oh, look. Why does it say Deftones?
Strange.
That was the Deftones.
No, just Deftones.
The Deftones.
As you saw on the screen.
That was the Deftones, and this is Ben Webb. So Ben Webb has made a return.
Jeez, Ben, I thought if you didn't come back to the channel, Vinny might leave me.
Things got a little tense. I said, if that boy doesn't show up in the next 24 to 48. Shout out to Big Timber JC in the house. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. That was the Deftones. Okay, go ahead. What are your thoughts on the song? What did you think the song was about? I had an idea what the song was about, but I want to hear your thing.
Fill me in. Fill me in what you think the song was about. I think it was a relationship song.
Yeah, I think we can safely say it's a relationship song, inshallah.
Yep. So this is Deftones.
The spell of mathematics.
A sacred vow, it engulfs me. We slip and we slide in time. We create a feeling, a warmth inside of you. What did that mean?
Well, I think he's describing coitus.
Okay, that's what I got from that.
So why are you asking the question?
Well, because you know how you always say, our train only goes to one station. So I didn't want to say. That's what I thought. You explain. Holy and strict 6 times a day, we will exchange our violent wings. But the beauty is when you touch me.
Yeah, so maybe it's when he just got married.
Yeah.
Maybe he just got married. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's really interesting. When White Pony came out, they had a big kind of thing at Virgin Records.
White Pony?
White Pony it's like a classic Deftones record.
Oh, okay.
And it's the only Deftones record that I actually own. But that record, man.
You owned that one. Okay.
Man, that record, well, I used to call that the girlfriend record, man. Like,
there's a lot of good ones on there.
There's a lot of... Actually, a fun fact is the Deftones is one of the reasons that we started the Reaction Channel. Because...
Really?
Yeah,
is that what you were looking at?
I was looking up a Deftones song, and I saw Lost in Vegas reviewed it, and I'm like, holy shit, somebody's reviewed... Because I thought this song would never get reviewed because it was the second song on the record, but it was my favorite Deftones song of all time. And Digital Bath was the name of the song. And they reviewed it, and I was like, holy shit. And that was the first night. Then we did the Slipknot thing on my cheap little camera. So
it's true, the cheap camera.
You guys remember that? Yeah. So Deftones is we did that?
Yeah.
Shout out to this girl right
What's
here.
What's up, Beth?
Beth Brady.
I talked to Matt today about us getting on a Zoom call so I can help you out with a couple of those things.
Yeah, so Shorty, she's preggo. We gotta. Or did she have the kid already?
Oh yeah, remember we saw the picture?
Shout out to the Village. Look, Village, we got Shorty a diaper bag. So shout out to the Village. Thank you guys so much.
The baby's name is Laura Beth, I think. Yeah. Right? Remember Laura Beth?
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? The baby's name's Laura Beth.
Shout out to the Village.
Yes, shout out to all you awesome people.
Yeah, you patrons. That's what you guys did. So thank you to the Village for that. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So anyway, my Chino story. So we're in Virgin Megastore, and Chino's there.
Oh, really?
I mean, the whole band was there. Chi Chang was. Everybody was there. Actually, we hung out with Chi Chang after. Mm-hmm. They were there. We cut school. We cut they were there from 12 o'clock. Signing records. I mean, there was this giant lines, and then they were playing the record.
Oh wow!
Because the only record that had been played, the big single was Change. I watched you change. Digital Bath came on, and Chino was with his wife. I'm pretty sure it was his wife, and they were all cuddly and stuff and kissing and stuff when Digital Bath came on. It was a really cool moment.
Wow.
It had been one of those moments where if we would have had a cell phone, we would have took a picture of it because it was so cool.
Well, that's so cute.
Yeah. Virgin Megastore in New York City, Ben Webb in Manhattan. So yeah, I think actually that's one of the reasons that I love that record and that song was that moment. Because,
really?
Yeah, because again, I wasn't used to people openly showing affection to their woman. But when you listen to that record, the whole record is like a love record. It's unbelievable. Like the whole song is about relationships and all that. And so again, I'm coming out of a hip hop context. You never talk about like And if you do express your love to her, it's always got to be in some Bonnie and Clyde type theme. It can't just be I love you, you mean the world. It can't be that. It's okay, I love you, but we're committing crimes together, so it's so I'm still okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's the first time I heard anything like about like raw just love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then for him to like, be that affectionate with her in public, I just thought was just like.
And you've always been like, remember you like to watch like the wedding videos and stuff like that? Like kind of.
Well, after I got married the first time, and all the, I actually became a lot more romantic after romantic, not in the sense of actions, but in the sense of like ideology about relationships after I got married. But that's because it was all gone. You know what I'm saying? Like Shorty was trying to sabotage the relationship, and eventually she clocked out after 15 years. That's fine. But yeah, that whole concept of love and all that, like, I don't think there's a band that does girlfriend music like Deftones. I just don't think they get enough credit for it because, Chino's lyrics are so avant-garde that it's hard for people to connect and get it. Like Digital Bath, for example, like it's to me the most romantic song in the world, but really if you look at it, it's about a guy who basically electrocutes this girl in the bathtub. Like it's not really that romantic, but the way that the song sounds, it's beautiful. Wow. So anyway, the Deftones, a feeling of war. So you scroll up and he's saying, I drink the poison right from your hands, a sacred vow it engulfs me. We slip and we slide, and in time we create a feeling of warmth inside of you. Right? So holy and strict 6 times a day.
Whoa.
I think that's a pretty cool, like, almost pseudo-religious sort of way of talking about how much that they enjoy each other's bodies, say it that way. Because 6 days shall you work, 7 shall you rest. So for them, it's like 6 times a day, and then they'll rest, and then presumably their time of rest would just be when they sleep, right? So it's 6 times a day, and then you have the rest, and that's your Sabbath, and then
All right.
So we will exchange our violent wings, but the beauty is when you touch me. So. Yeah, it's again, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like real romantic, girlfriend music. Yeah. Knife Party, same thing. Knife Party from that's just a classic record. Honestly, like, if I would have met you in high school and we had that record, like, it would be a wrap. I'd give you that record, I'd tell you what it means, and then you would just you'd be like, okay, and I'd say, okay, leave your house, let's go. Like, it's a wrap. Just get married. It's over.
I think you're the only one that could have convinced me to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I know that. I believe your love has placed its spell on me, and I believe your love is the only thing needed to survive.
Uh-oh.
I believe your love creates a space where we can breathe, and I believe your love beholds the sacred key to life. Yeah, man. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just like out there on that, and it's really cool too, because you gotta have a sense of belief even in the concept of love itself, which is one of the things that I learned from you. Like, you're and that's why I'm like, yo, chill. Like, that's why I had to mount like a biblical case for romanticism for you, because I'm like I want you to kind of like maintain that, you know what I'm saying? Because So I was like, trying to be like, yo, like there's still a, you know what I'm saying? So, because I'm like, oh, now I get a chance at it. Now you're gonna get all stoic on me. Don't do it.
No, I don't want to be stoic.
But my point is, like, you have to believe in the concept of love itself. And then on top of that, you have to believe that the person, does. Because if like, there's a really, really big part about belief in the other person in relation. It's like, what's his name? The other guy, Billy Corgan, is really good at girlfriend music too. So in the Tonight song, believe in me as I believe in you. Like, that's major, 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 major in relationships. And people are in serious trouble when they don't. The snakes come pouring out of your heart, and you know that I can't deny them. So I sink inside where we writhe and create that feeling that pangs my time with you.
There's like negativity, like,
well,
everybody has their bad side.
I think what he's saying is he accepts her for her bad side, though.
And he's gonna roll with it.
Snakes are pouring out of your heart. She's probably saying some crazy shit. You said a bunch of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been the most obedient wife. Just did that to trigger a bunch. Shout out to Jen.
Shout out to you.
But again, that's the other part of it, right? Like,
yeah,
you know, and it's funny too because it's almost like they had a fight. That verse again, like exegeting Chino's shit is kind of interesting. But like, if you look, the snakes come pouring out of your heart. I can't deny them. So it looks to me like that's a makeup sex type of verse, right?
Oh,
because you look at the first two lines, the snakes come pouring out of your heart, and you know I can't deny them. So the first two, the second two lines is, so I sink inside where we writhe and create that feeling that pangs my time with you. Mm-hmm. So even when they're fighting, like that shit is still happening. We sway in the wind inside of a haze where you speak your language. What am I to say? I'll just wait for your limbs to touch me.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, man.
But wait, no. Then he goes into the chorus, which we have to say again. I believe your love has placed its spell on me, and I believe your love is the only thing needed to survive. I believe your love creates the space where we can breathe. So so they find a lot within their love.
Yeah, and that and I do think, like, what did he say? Your love is the only thing needed to survive. Obviously, I'm going to say we need God to survive, but I will say that I just think they're different kinds of love, though. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And we've had these discussions, like, and, especially, when we watch Kevin Samuels or whatever, and he talks, and he's always talking to these girls or whatever, and he says, are your parents married? He's talking about previous generation. They've been married for 40, 50 years. And he's like, your parents didn't get married or stay married because of love. Mm-hmm. And, he talks about the more traditional, not traditional in the sense of Western romanticism, but a lot of marriages were about pragmatism, whether it's the exchange of property, unifying kingdoms, classism, things of that nature, arranged marriages. There have been a bunch of models for relationships to where this whole idea, you see somebody across the room, your eyes link, yada, 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 blah. Like, the vast majority of relationships that are marriages across cultures and time periods, it's been that reason and not this, I saw this person across the room type of situation. Yeah. And so he's got this very pragmatic understanding of marriage. Mm-hmm. And so he's talking to these women and saying, hey, you're you're X years old, you have X amount of kids, and you're trying to find a guy who makes $300K for 5 years straight, 3 years straight, I think it is. $300K for 5 years straight. Why would he be with you when he's got a 25-year-old girl with no kids who is willing to be submissive and all the rest of it while you are, 38 with 2 kids and you got this,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and you're kind of like that. You're like a hardcore, like, rebellious feminist, I'm not going to listen to anybody type person. Mm-hmm. But my point is, like, there's that kind of, and what he says is, look, they learn to love each other. And I think he's right. He's 100% right. I believe he's right on that. Like, I don't think romanticism is the only model for thriving relationships that accomplish a goal. And then there's the very rare occasion where you have the romanticism, but you also have the we're building, and you also have the pragmatic, practical benefits of what a marriage is.
Yeah.
And those are extremely rare. They're extremely rare. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's different kinds of love, right? And so, obviously, you're a very eye-catching, across the room type of person. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like we're in that situation. I feel like we're in that category.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
think
for sure.
that's
for sure.
I feel extremely fortunate. And it wasn't like that in my previous relationship. Mm-hmm. And would you say it was like that in your previous relationship?
No.
Sorry. So yeah. So that's really interesting stuff. I really like the song. I love the song lyrically. I agree with Ben. Like, it was a little bit repetitive. I think there was a grand total of like 2.5 riffs with some, amendations on. I think they cut one of the riffs in half and just used 2 notes, and it's like a 4-note set. I don't like that. So the musicianship kind of hurt the song a bit, but lyrically, I love just how explicit he was about the concept of love.
Yes.
Like, obviously from a hip hop background, you never hear that.
Right.
But you don't hear it this explicit. It was almost simplistic. I believe your love.
Yeah.
But it was so straight up and explicit that it's whimsical to me. So this is purely emotional. It's a 9.5 for me.
9.3 for me.
Purely emotional.
What did you say yours was?
9.5. Purely emotional, fellas. But I like the song. Girlfriend music. That's what I'm about. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. That was a good one.
Very good song.
Very good song. Gotta love the love. All right, guys. We are coming right back to you. Another commercial break. And then we've got to...
Do you have the right commercial?
Yeah. I got to work on a couple things, ladies and gents. AT, that song was the joint. Ben says...
Yeah, Ben, you might change your mind.
Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your... Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Finn and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. The child shall lead them. What are you guys talking about in the comment section there? How you doing, Sean?
Like it better now.
This is the DJ AT. That new guy is guy is hideous. Nah, I think he's a sexy beast, Sean. That's what I think. Sean. Okay. So we are in the midst of the DJ AT DJ stream, ladies and gents. The DJ AT stream. And a DJ stream is where you, dear listener, function as the DJ, and then we do your song. So we're on song number 3 right now.
And it's, what do you say? I said
it's Cruachan Ossian's Return, I think is the name of this particular song. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Cruachan. It looks like Cruachan. I don't know, but we'll have to have DJ AT tell us. So the name of the band is Cruachan, and I am having a very hard time securing this link, bro. Holy moly!
You need my help?
No, I don't. I have solved the problem myself. Yeah, we were too busy laughing at Sean.
the new updated version.
Yeah, the updated version. But Cruachan, and I'm pretty sure Cruachan is a black metal band, so that should be interesting. And so, guys, this is where we are. If you want a DJ stream, reach out to me. Reach out to Soraya, VinceSori@gmail.com. All that jazz. It's fun, and we've got a couple more DJ streams lined up. And we also have a couple Alliance days. So
yeah, that's coming up next week.
The Alliance, yeah, I think all of next week is going to be Alliance week, isn't it?
Nope.
Isn't it all Alliances? No? Okay. All right, well, nobody cares about that. The name of this band is Cruachan. The name of the song is... Okay, so it's an Irish folk metal band with black metal origins. Okay,
okay.
Here we go. Ossian's Return, Cruachan, let's go. Whoa.
Upon his face, she knew the pain he felt. He lost to behold upon his race, his great son's breath to rebel. Return my love to the land of men, but we won't time is heavily there. Come back to me if ever you can, back to the land of the men.
Hey, there goes the folk side. There goes the folk side. little Danny boy said leprechaun metal. Leprechaun metal. Yeah, man. Okay, guys. So you see right here, Ossian is the narrator and purported author of a cycle of epic poem published by the Scottish poet James Macpherson, originally as Fingal and Temora, and later combined under the title The Poems of Ossian. Macpherson claimed to have collected word-of-mouth material in Scottish Gaelic, said to be from ancient sources, and that the work was his translation of that material. Ossian is based on Oisin, son of Finn, or Fionn Mac Comahale, anglicized to Finn McCool, a legendary bard who is a character in Irish mythology. Contemporary critics were divided on their view on the work's authenticity. The current consensus is that Macpherson largely composed the poems himself, drawing in part on traditional Gaelic poetry that had been collected. Later, Danny boy. Okay, so there's some history behind the song. Behind the characters in the song. Very, very epic. You definitely tasted that folky flavor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I love that stuff, man. Like, I love the folky stuff, bro. It's just...
Anytime there's one of those, you're a fan.
Yeah, it's really rich, man. I like that stuff. I think in, like, a past life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have been, around the fire
hobbit.
in the Shire. About to step outside the wire. That boy say he's gonna stretch me. You a liar.
Vin's on fire.
The sky was gray and leaden, wolves howling in the wind. Above the land of Tir na Onga, the ancient calm still reigned. I long to stand on my home shore, said Ossian in a glare. But Ossian, love, this is your home, said Niama of the Golden Here. Okay, so he's got a shorty. He wants to go home. He just got done doing jihad. He's got shorty. He's like, I want to go home. And shorty's like, what do you mean? This is your home. And he's like, nah, shorty. I'm not really feeling it like that. You heard? She seen the look upon his face. She knew the pain he felt. He longed to be home among his race with his ring sword strapped to his belt. Return, my love, to the land of man, but be warned, time rests heavily there. Come back to me if you ever can, back to the land of the fair. Okay, so she's
not human?
Nah, she's probably, what do you call it? She's, okay, Tir Nanog. Tir Nanog. Speaking of Tir, I gotta reach out.
That's right here.
I gotta reach out to the homie
Above
Tir.
the land of Tir Nanog.
Okay, so you remember Lord of the Rings? You had what's his name?
Frodo?
No. Strider. Mm-hmm. And his girl was like an elf. Mm-hmm. So I think that this girl is probably like an Irish elf or something. Mm-hmm. And plus, like, they have leprechauns and fairies and stuff. Mm-hmm. She's probably a fairy. See, Narin right there. That is such a badass name, dude. And I love that icon and everything. Fae. So she's probably a fairy. Mm-hmm. That's probably how they say fairy. So she's a fairy. So Tuatha. Alan says Tuatha. So Tuatha, she's probably like a fairy or something. So they probably have some, he probably met her in the you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the Shire or wherever they were. There we go. Okay, so Tuatha, meaning the folk of the goddess Danu.
Oh.
Or Tuatha.
They're a supernatural race. Yeah, to me it sounded like he had been on his escapades. He met this woman, and he wants to go home now, but she obviously still loves him and would like it if he would stay. But she's saying, okay, because he wants to go back to his people. He feels lonely.
Well, and this has just been the lot in human history. Like, for example, in the Crusades, mm-hmm. you're going out there doing jihad. Mm-hmm. These are Europeans that have never laid eyes on a Mediterranean woman in their life. So these guys are doing jihad, and then they run into these women, and of course they're all hijabbed up, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that element of mystery, and oh my God. And then obviously, like, once they really start to lay eyes on them, an Arabic woman can clean up pretty decently. And so there are a lot of marriages, actually, where the dude would, like, take this, and fall in love, whatever. But it was just that novelty. When you go to war, you're going into a land that's different from yours, and the girls are different than the girls at home. And so a lot of that happens so often, you have no idea.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I'm not talking about like, a jump off type situation. I'm talking about like dudes really love this girl, but like they get completely smitten by the girl because she's completely different. And then it's like so ubiquitous that like before you spin out in these things, like you have to like it's a long thing and it's a major issue, and they talk about international incidents, all types of shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, none of my guys. So
wow,
like that shit is real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that gets reflected. That gets reflected a lot in the art and the music and things of that nature. And I think that that's why you have those kinds of stories in the context of war. And this is sort of a, mythologized version of it.
Yeah.
But this is him saying, I got to go back to my folks, man. And she's like, well, come back when you can, which is a conversation that many a soldier has had with those.
What percentage do they go back?
I mean, a vast majority of them go back. We mean go back. Like, go back with the
to
girl?
The girl, yeah.
With their girl?
Well, it doesn't say that he had a girl back where his people were. Here.
No, he went to this other place.
And now he wants to go back to his people.
Right, and she's like, come back to me. Right,
yeah,
so what I'm saying is that happens a lot.
Yes, and I'm saying, how often do they go back to the girl?
Oh, they never go back to the girl. The girl goes with them. I mean, we're America, right? I mean, and plus, by the time we get done with your country, it's unlivable anyway. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that that's just the truth. Mm-hmm. And as Sean says, I have. It's a major thing, because you get smitten with this girl, and then you're a soldier and a conqueror, so she gets smitten with you, and it happens all the time. As a matter of fact, in the ancient Near East, especially in the world of the Bible, the women used to glam themselves up during times of war, so that if their men lost, they would be looked upon as attractive, so that the conquerors would marry them instead of just them having to be prostitutes.
Oh my gosh!
That's why in the Bible, when it says,
I feel like I was like betraying you if I did that.
Well, again, yes, but that's because you have a romantic understanding of relationships, right? Instead of a pragmatic one.
Yeah.
But these women in the ancient world, they didn't have all these options like a modern woman does. So they were thinking practically, like, look, if you lose, and the other side of it was, here's your girl all pretty and shit. And you can see this in the Hadith where, like, it was in the Battle of Uhud, where Abu Jahl's friends, like, the women were all dressed up and they were saying, hey, if you win, good stuff's going to happen to you tonight. If you lose, these guys are going to get us. Mm-hmm. So it had a really, really interesting function, for sure. Somebody's saying muted, but I think Zombie Holic is just playing around because I can hear myself in there, you lying bastard. Yeah. So that's why in the Bible it says, if you conquer a nation and you see a woman you like, you had to cut her, she had to shave her hair and she had to trim her nails, and you had to stay with her for 30 days, and you couldn't consummate the relationship. Why? Yeah. Well, it's because all the glam and all that stuff that she had on the battlefield, the point is, now you see her at her worst. She's not glammed up. If you still want to marry her, fine. If you don't want to marry her, you got to let her go. Yeah. And so that actually is one of the more progressive.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Zoe about that the other day.
Laws. Yeah, that was one of the most progressive laws in the ancient world, I think, for sure. So yeah, like it's definitely a principle. Like that's what happens. So hold on, go back to the lyrics. So do not dismount from the steed you ride, from this world it belongs. If you dismount, you shall fall by its side, to be remembered only in fairy songs. Okay, so he's got some magic steed that's going to take him to another dimension, and he cannot get off of it, otherwise he's toast.
Whoa.
Stroll down.
Oh my gosh. So she gave him a steed? It's from her world.
Yeah. Well, he galloped across the fairy seas back to the land of man, watched by the gods in the something, his life to end as it began. I have returned but no one was there to hear. His noble home, once bold and proud, had crumbled through the many years. A power had come into the land to threaten the old ways. A people ignore the ancient gods. They bid farewell to a golden age. Ossian stopped his gallant steed. He could see some people ahead. Help us, please, our brother, are trapped beneath this dolmen. He leaned down from his mount and gripped the dolmen firm, and from the earth the rocks was freed, the people beneath unharmed.
No! But from the strain, his saddle broke to the earth. He was cast.
Oh no!
A cry of pain burst from his throat. The years now caught him at last.
In Tir Nanog, Niam shed a tear when she saw the riderless horse. Ossian was gone. Oh no!
Her heart was full of deep remorse.
Damn! And then they ended the song that way. What the hell is wrong with you? Damn! So he fell off the horse. He fell off the horse, and then like the years caught up to him because there was some time differential happening.
And if he was on the horse, it kept him in her time.
Right.
But when he fell off,
he aged,
and then he was gone because it had been a
damn good
so
song.
long.
They did a damn. How long was this song? They said a lot in 4 minutes. They said a lot in
4 minutes.
In 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Holy shit. Okay. What do you give it?
You go first.
This song is getting a 9.9 for me. I really liked it. I love the historical part of this stuff. I understand it's mythology, quote unquote, maybe, but it's still reflective, like all good mythology, of something that's actually true in the human experience, and that is absolutely true for sure. And I agree. With Sean. Like, it wasn't really long enough in the sense of like they could have went a lot farther with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they did a really good job of that. What do you give the song?
6.7. But that's because I didn't really like.
Did you say 6.7?
I did. That's what I said. I didn't really like it. It felt choppy to me. It didn't seem like it was like. I don't know. I didn't like the way that it went.
Choppy.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
More picks.
Huh?
More picks. It felt choppy. What?
I didn't like it. And I didn't like how the stuff was layered. I wasn't really a fan. That was a 6.7 for me.
What a horrible.
Sorry, Alan.
As you can see, my wife unfortunately has no taste in music. And it was like a freaking romantic song.
I know. That's why,
What a disaster. You're one of the worst. I'm done with this review. Vin out.
Sori out.
Down. She's on crack. You prefer pagan Sori?
Look, someone agrees with me.
Oh yeah. What a shocker. What a shocker. What a shocker that a dude agrees with you, Soraya. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Man, I'll tell you what. I can't disagree with a song without me being an imbecile, and I can't be.
Did I say you were an imbecile? I did not say you were an imbecile. I just said that you were a crackhead. I did not say you were an imbecile. As if. Well, you're always lying. I'm glad that we've got people here.
Sorry.
I'm glad we've got people here.
Okay.
To witness this Bolshevik.
Oh, that's probably why people were saying Satan at the beginning. Because the next song is Gogroth, Satan,
Prometheus. Do you think that just because someone fought for Germany in World War II, it makes them Nazis? I'm asking due to the fact that your vid, Hearts of Iron, said Nazis in heaven, although I did not watch it. Well, yes, right? Like, if you're fighting under the swastika, then you're a Nazi. Now, I think the question you're actually asking, neoliberal, is in what sense are they Nazis? I think there's a big difference between a Heinrich Himmler type character and, Hans that's just doing his duty for Deutschland. I think that that's completely different. It's not as if you could be in Germany and say, man, fuck the military machine, fuck Hitler, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they conscript you, man, you're going to war, period. So just like every American soldier does not reflect all American values, every German soldier was not a Nazi in the sense of they believed in massacring millions of people and dominating the world and all the rest of it. They were just caught up in a situation that, in my mind, was literally impossible for them. So that's my understanding of it. I think, yeah. I mean, now, are they innocent or guilty? obviously, I'm a collectivist, so, when we bomb other countries, we bombed Somalia recently. We're guilty of that because we're Americans. Our tax dollars are going to bomb these other countries, and we know that they're doing it. We see it on TV every day, and we don't care. So we are, to the degree that we're responsible for what's happening in Afghanistan, Nigeria, Somalia, Yemen, etc., is the degree to which I would hold a normal German citizen responsible for what happened in Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen, etc., etc. So, I'm really, really big on, we need to look at ourselves first, and then we'll have a clear eye and clear vision to blame and judge other people and all the rest of it. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, of course. Obviously. Reach out to Sori and we'll see what we can do, especially if it's your birthday. Jeff Hanneman's father was a German and fought against Hitler. Holy shit. Well, if you did that, congratulations. But people that did that are rare. They're the exception and not the rule. For example, we've killed a whole bunch of civilians in the last 20 years, and no American has rose up and physically resisted that. So there's that. Okay. All right, guys, we've got another. Oh shit!
What?
Fuck!
What happened?
AT, send me an email, vinandsori@gmail.com. Damn it. What? We talked a lot about AT's art. Me and him were talking before the stream came on.
Oh.
Son of a bitch. Should I email you or Facebook Messenger? Email me, vinandsori@gmail.com. I'm just talking because Gorgoroth is our last song, and I think I want to hang out a little bit more. That's why. So, and there's Jambi. Can we arrange a chat? Jambi, we're live streaming damn near every day. You've seen me on multiple weekends, so if you catch us on a weekend, we'll chat. Hey, Alan, send me an email with all your stuff, and then I'll make sure that we promo it during the Gorgoroth. And the Gorgoroth thing is going to get more views than normal because, we're going to entitle it "Christians React to Gorgoroth," et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be good. So send me that. Oh, I'm so mad. I wish I had it before.
You should let me know if there's something like that you kind of...
Here's Jambi. Vin is so defensive. What do you mean, Jambi? Jambi, you've been pretending that you want to have this conversation for damn near a year now.
Quite some time.
For quite some time. What are you talking about? He's so sensitive, that guy. Paperclip goes deeper than a lot of people know. That is true. I agree with that. By the way, my birthday is also soon on the 9th. Any chance you guys perhaps may be able to do my request? Hell yeah, Perk. You know that, bro. 100%, bro. 100%. Say no more. Just you got my number, Perk. Call, just text me like 24 hours before to make sure.
No, Perk, reach out to me.
Okay, reach out to Sori.
So we can schedule
Reach out to Sori. Reach out to Sori. Leo's in the house. He's playing a very long game. Yeah, Jambi must be playing a massively long game. Hey, Amy Lee. Isn't that interesting? Amy Lee is here. Amy Lee is here, and now we have Ben Webb is back, Amy. So there's that.
So you'll be happy to know.
Excellent. Black Satan in the house. Black Satan in the house. Black Satan was one of our favorite DJs, doing it up with the Monster Magnet stuff. Shout out to Black Satan. Perk, you're one of my best friends outside of this channel, bro. Just say the word, bro. Period. End of story. It's that simple. Okay, hold on. Where did it go? AT, where's the stuff? I'm waiting for it. Did you send it to vinandsori@gmail.com?
You might have sent it to mine.
Or did you send it to Sori's bootleg ass secret email? I think he did. Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't. Oh, guys, look at this baby. Oh my God,
See?
she's so
Wallahi,
she's so beautiful, bro. Okay, so guys, villagers, we together as a village bought a diaper bag from this girl. For this girl.
Oh.
Just born.
Oh my goodness.
What a beaut. What a beaut. What a beaut.
She's so tiny.
I appreciate the piss take about how sensitive I am for not joining, but I couldn't join in last weekend because I was in a place with no internet. Nah, little bro, that's not why you're sensitive. You're sensitive because you'll come on and you'll do this troll stuff like Ben does, and then when we rib you back, you get like mega defensive and upset and hurt and all the rest of it. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, I can't stall anymore. This is a 4-song review, so here we go. Song number 4. Song number 4 is on the way. It's by a band named Gorgoroth. but DJ AT, you still owe me those pictures, bro. Where they at? See, you confused him. Sori. That's the problem. You confused the homie. AT, you have not sent me the thing yet. Where is it? Where did it go? Where's AT, babe?
I don't know what to tell you. Okay? There's a lot of things I know, but there's also a few I don't. That is on the don't list. I don't know. I'm working on this thumbnail, so you can do what you want.
Mm-hmm. I see. You know not to take Ben seriously unless he says so. Yep. All right, Jibby. All right, man. All right. Look, when you're ready to talk, I'll be here. We'll have a nice conversation, I'm sure. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It said sent at 9:46. Did you send it to vinandsori@gmail.com? See, this is why I feel like they would be so good together. Mm-hmm. You see what she said? Whoever says all babies are cute is a liar. That's some shit Ben Webb would say.
Yeah.
vinandsori@gmail.com, Alan. I can't see it, bro. Where you at?
What?
It's Vin's down. I'm on the Vin and Sori one. All babies are cute.
It's in mine.
I figured. Just forward it to me, por favor. Just forward it to me, por favor. Oh, okay. It came through. Don't worry. I have it now. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. You know you can't. You can't depend on Soraya to do this stuff. Listen, I want you to make that one right there.
Which one?
Don't forget, that one's the thumbnail for this video, okay?
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious.
I literally just finished making the thumbnail for this video, and it's a badass one too.
Let me see it.
Right here. I faded a bunch of stuff in so that skull could be in there.
That looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
Find some way to incorporate that one in there, though. Don't contradict me.
Do you want me to obey?
Yeah. I need you to be an obedient woman.
Wow.
I'm just trying to trigger some.
Okay, why don't I just put it on his DJ stream picture?
Huh? Yeah, do that. Put it on the DJ stream picture. For sure. I really like this one. Holy moly. It looks like the Lake of Fire. You guys are in for a real treat, guys. We got some artistes in our village. And it's really cool. All right, guys. We are on the way. We got one more track for you beautiful people. And we will be there soon. Commercial on the way. Good day. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Filth and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. And a child shall lead them. Rubbish.
Did you use the right one?
Yeah. You guys are in for a treat. This is the last song in our 4-song DJ stream for the big homie DJ
AT.
DJ AT is right here, but he's also an artiste. He's also an artiste, ladies and gents. And some of his material is actually featured on the thumbnail to this video. If you're not on the DJ stream, if you're watching it, and we will also be featuring pieces of his artwork in the bottom left side throughout the video itself. So that's what we're about here. Okay. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived. Now, Gorgoroth. That's the homie, right? We saw a documentary about Gorgoroth. It was Vice, actually. Vice did that, didn't they?
I'm not certain.
They like trekked up to the mountains where this guy lived. Like he lived like as like a recluse.
I'm pretty sure it was them.
And then the one Gorgoroth song we did, his fans said, take this video down immediately. This is cultural appropriation. It was insane. The guy was crazy. He was like, I'm gonna send my lawyer, blah blah blah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, dead ass serious.
What'd you say? Go ahead.
Obviously, I laughed at him. You know what I'm saying? They were like mega hostile. They were really mad that I had the audacity because we said Christians. That was the other thing. It's like, you're a Christian. This music isn't for you. You guys have no right to listen to our music. It wasn't anybody from the band. I'm almost certain.
No right.
I'm almost certain it was nobody from the band. It was just, they were just really angry that as Christians we had the audacity to listen to their music. But we're going to do it again.
Check out the comment section on that video.
That
video must be pretty interesting.
Yeah, the video was insane, too. It had girls on cross, all that type of shit, man. It was pretty terrible video.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was not a good video. I didn't like it. Okay, so here we go, guys. Gorgoroth, Satan Prometheus, I think is the name of the...
Here we go.
The joint. Let's go. Tremolo picking. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Back to our regular scheduled program.
Going into the portal.
Holy moly.
That Satan Prometheus part was
Satan.
very nice.
Prometheus.
I always have this weird thing where like sometimes when I listen to these, I'm like getting right into a certain part of it, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What are you singing? This is Satan? I'm swaying around to Satan? This is not good. I'm a Christian, damn it.
Disaster. The riffage was crazy.
Yeah.
The lyric, we're gonna get into the lyrics obviously. The riffage was insane though. Absolutely insane. This was just sometimes with black metal I feel like the lack of production quality and the lack of arrangement and musicianship is like it's excused because it's black metal and we're trying to be avant-garde and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, I think there's some people that are like really good but do that shit on purpose, but I think a lot of it is just it gives an excuse for low quality musicians to say that the reason they're low quality on purpose. It's not because they couldn't do anything better. But this guy is they can write music, this band.
Oh, for sure.
Like this is like legit musicianship. And I understand some of it is deliberate, like Mayhem, but not all of them. And I don't even care if it's deliberate. Like some of the shit is just objectively bad. Like I don't care. Like the Frozen Moon thing, just terrible song. Just a terrible, like it's just a bad song, man.
I forgot about that one.
It's just bad. But this is like really good musicianship. Like this band.
There was so many, and I liked the way that they stopped it right before they did a transition.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting one.
They did a really good job. They did a really good job as musicians. And I feel like the whole like, oh, we deliberately make bad music. Like I'm like, yeah, man, that's fine. part of me is like, I want to see one of these like terrible bands like actually create something good.
Right.
Prove that you can actually like write good music, and then fine, then I'll accept it. But if you can't, stop.
Exactly. I totally agree.
There's a debate. There's a debate going back and forth, and then Sean goes, "But Satan hates music," which is true. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he banned music. Always winter, never Christmas. Okay. Speaking of which, if DJ AT approves it, we're gonna do a bonus. Because Cradle Filth did a brand new song, and we'll do it if DJ AT approves it. Okay, so here is the lyrics. We're sons of blind faith kneeling to a false Christ. And as my brother Sean says, if you say there's a false Christ, then that necessarily means there's a true one. Right?
Yeah.
So in this guy's universe, Jesus would be the false Christ, and then Satan would be the so Prometheus, right, is the one that showed us how to make fire. Okay. And then the gods punished him.
Okay.
All right. So Prometheus is kind of like a hero, and he's there's a lot of correlation between Prometheus and Satan, because in their mind, Satan, Prometheus was punished for sharing with us the knowledge of fire, and Satan was punished for sharing with us the knowledge of knowledge.
Okay.
Right, and so they see a lot of there's parallel. So Satan, Prometheus, they're looking at those characters as people who wanted to liberate humanity, while God or the gods wanted to trap them and keep them as slaves, because that was like a big thing, especially in ancient Near Eastern paganism, was that the gods made us so that we could work for them as slaves.
Okay.
So that was like a big idea. So that's why you see God saying, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you. Because a lot of times the sacrifices in the ancient world were to feed the gods. Like, we've got a friend, and he feeds his god, he puts his gods to bed, all the way. Like, I'm not joking, like, it's true. So Prometheus and Satan kind of become this, and as Alan says, theistic Satanists think Prometheus is an aspect of Satan, right? So the entire idea of God is up there trying to keep stuff from us, and then Satan's there trying to liberate us. That's kind of the idea. And so, there's a lot of really interesting understandings of how that works. Because one question people have is, well, why did God... and it's really interesting because in the intertestamental period, right, with Shemyaza and all those boys, they came down from heaven. These are divine beings between the Old and New Testament. So these are divine beings that came down, and they taught us. They taught women makeup, they taught men instruments of war, yada yada yada. And so I'm not particularly certain from a biblical worldview that the Prometheus story is that far off. Now, as far as, that's the question. Why would God keep knowledge from Adam and Eve? So Satanists, or these kinds of Satanists, immediately say that God is bad because he wanted to withhold knowledge, and that the devil's good because he wanted to give us knowledge. Which, of course, only works if you've never been a parent.
Yeah. Because
if you're a parent, you realize that there are some aspects of knowledge that are inappropriate for children to have at that time as children, but when they grow and mature and can handle the ramifications of that knowledge, you then tell them. There's this theologian called James, his name is James P. Jordan, not B. Jordan, and a couple other guys I was listening to, and he basically said that, look, Adam and Eve were babies. Like if you look at them like developmentally, they were not what we would consider grown or adults, and definitely not in God's mind. And so when God says, you can't eat of this fruit, Jordan says, listen, he never said you will never be able to eat from this fruit. And he never said, I will never give you knowledge. What he said was, right now, you can't eat it. And so his argument is God would have eventually given them that knowledge and that wisdom. But they went and got it at a time that was too advanced for them to deal with the ramifications of that. And obviously, when you look at the world, then, that's why, we had the conversation with Aaron Ron. He's like, why didn't he tell us the scientific method? Why didn't he tell us about evolution? Why didn't he tell us about this? I'm like, these assumptions are, I have a hard time, like, with the logic. So I'm like, okay, we had this massive advancement. We split the atom last century. What did we do with that knowledge?
Right.
We killed a bunch of people.
Exactly.
The Germans are experts at ingenuity and precision. And they use that efficiency and precision not only to create, honestly, the most powerful war machine ever. And I'm including over the American war machine. Because I'm adjusting for technology based on the time period. But for the time period, I mean, these people took over they were about to take over the world. And so what did we do with that knowledge? We killed a bunch of people. That's what we did with it.
Yeah.
And now you got people experimenting on human beings, and the question is, well, why shouldn't we? Because if knowledge is ultimate, then there's a lot of information you can get from experimenting on human beings, right? If knowledge is the ultimate, why not? Because science can't tell you that it's right or wrong to experiment on that human being. So what I would say is that God gave us the knowledge that we needed, and the minute that we master that, then he was going to give us other knowledge. So for example, if you can get Genesis 1:26 down, right? Genesis 1:26 is that all of us are image bearers of God and crowned with glory and honor. If we could really truly get that down, then there is a plethora of knowledge that God would give us, I believe. What happens when you give knowledge and power to people who are not mature enough or righteous enough to wield it? It always ends in death and destruction. That's why we have laws limiting when you can drink alcohol, when you can operate a motor vehicle, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this idea that knowledge is ultimate and that God is bad for withholding knowledge only can function in a Western Christian environment where people are safe and know not to murder their neighbor. But if the sky is empty and the universe is empty and there's no God, there's no ultimate defining reason for why you can't murder your neighbor. Science can't tell you not to murder your neighbor. Science can only tell you what happens to your neighbor's body after you kill him. But science can't tell you that you shouldn't have killed your neighbor. So, Sam Harris notwithstanding. So that to me is a flaw in the reasoning. Like this idea that if knowledge is ultimate, then yeah, sure, God is a bad guy for withholding knowledge. But if human beings are ultimate, and if love is ultimate, then there are times when the loving thing to do would be to withhold knowledge. Any parent knows that. If you have a child, there's a whole bunch of shit you don't tell your kids and you withhold from them.
For sure.
If you're a good parent.
For sure. Have you thought about that Genesis story in conjunction with Hoffman's ideas?
Wait, say that again?
Like the idea of,
I feel like
maybe that should be something offline.
Yeah, it's probably a mean.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be a deeper.
That's probably a mean thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and so like I think that's something that needs to be thought through a little bit more into criticism. I mean, there are ways to criticize Christianity, God, for sure. But I think the criticism has to be augmented a bit. Like, okay, let's take Prometheus for example. Fire. We've got a 2-year-old right now. Okay, should I? What would happen
if candle?
What would happen if Dorian? What would happen if Dorian said, "You know what, Mom and Dad are really fucked up. How could you not show Orion fire?" And he takes a lighter and he shows Orion how to work the lighter and set it on fire. Is that something that you think that would be good or bad? Who's the bad guy in that scenario? You've got us, the parents, who kept the knowledge of fire away from Orion. You've got Dorian, who gave him the knowledge of fire. And then you've got Orion, who just burned down the house and killed everybody in it. Who's the bad guy there? I'd say Dorian's the bad guy. You expose this child to knowledge that he was not mature enough to handle.
Well, that's very interesting.
So Prometheus, I mean, it's great. You gave us fire, bro. All right? But that's not always good all the time.
That's a very interesting analogy.
Right? And if I did that, the police would absolutely punish me. If the house got burnt down and they did an investigation and it figured out that I did it, would be like, aggravated child neglect or some other horrible thing, and I would rightly be punished for giving my child that knowledge. So that's like the first thing where I'm like, I get the criticism like on the outset. Oh my God, God is withholding knowledge from people. Like I get the criticism on the outset. I just think that because there's this assumption that the Bible was written by ignorant goat herders or whatever, which I'll put Moses and I'll put Moses' educational profile and what's his name? Nehemiah and Ezra. I'll put their educational profiles against the average person on the internet criticizing the biblical authors, and we can see. Like, read John Sailhammer and then tell me that the people who wrote the Old Testament were not exceptionally brilliant people.
Yeah.
It's like this chronological snobbery is what they call it. Just because the people were before us, it means that they're dumb and we're not smarter than them. Like, that's why I said I was on that show with that atheist dude, right? And he was talking about how dumb people in the past were. I'm like, go look at a 4th grade elementary school paper. These kids have to do Latin and do debates in Latin. And go back and tell me that people in the past were not as intelligent as we are.
Even if you're just talking about your home back then, you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be a studied person, but somebody that just lives life from the land and they have to make do with what they have. If we're missing something, we go down to Walmart and find some substitute for what we need. They didn't have that option. So your mind had to really be moving, okay, how can I make the best of what we have and how can we, make sure that our crops, everything, like they had to put so much thought into 100%. It. And the whole family worked together to get that. So that's something that we don't have that anymore,
100%.
Everybody's playing video games.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like I definitely see the homie like brilliant musicianship. Lyrically,
yeah.
It makes sense. We're the sons of blind faith kneeling to a false Christ. That's the other thing is like and we've demonstrated this on this channel, right? Where people talk about blind faith. Or in Aaron Ra talked about, I'm an epistesist. I only hold the things that can be proven. He said faith was immoral. Shout out to Aaron Ra. And then we were talking about the
that interview's up on our channel. Just
the Hammurabi Stela.
Yes, I know. I never forgot that.
And I said, Aaron, how do you know that that's the real Stela? And he's like, well, it's the people at the Louvre. And I said, yeah, but how do you know that they're telling you the truth? How do you know they really found it that way? And of
Have you seen it? Have you been there?
Of course. He had seen it. He had touched it. What I'm saying is, how do you know that what they're claiming it is actually what it is? There's absolutely no. You just have to take their word for it. Obviously.
Yeah.
And he knew he was caught. I said, "You're being inconsistent." He goes, "Oh, shut up! I'm right. You're right. Look at it yourself. Look at it yourself. You'll see." Shout out to Aaron Ra. Thanks for doing the interview, big homie. Okay, so he talks about blind faith. I agree. Blind faith is bad, but Jesus never called us to have blind faith.
Right.
That's the other thing that poor Aaron wasn't prepared for.
Actually, the opposite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This part, okay, prepare yourself to be insulted. When it says, "See the hordes ascend."
Hold on. I just want to talk about the place where Jesus talked about blind faith and where he specifically spoke against blind faith, actually. Because a lot of people really think
that's true.
That that's the case. This is John chapter 10 verse 38. And it's very important. And this is one of those passages that it was clear that the homie was not familiar. Yeah. It was
Oh no. And you kept saying like, any child in Sunday school would be able to tell.
Yeah, I probably should
tell you this.
I probably should have said that. That's when he made the false assertion about they were just going through the wilderness, killing people, just randomly killing people. Okay, guys, here is Jesus's take on blind faith. He said, "You're saying that I'm blaspheming because I said I am the Son of God." Now look what he says. "If I am not doing the works of my Father, don't believe me." That's in the imperative voice. That means he's commanding you. He's saying, if I'm not doing the works of my Father, then do not believe me. But if I do them, even though you do not believe me, believe the works, that you may know and understand that I'm in the Father and the Father's in me. Okay, so Jesus did not promote blind faith.
Right.
Jesus said, look, man, I'm making claims that nobody else in the world has ever claimed. However, if I'm doing stuff that normal people do, then you shouldn't believe me. But if I'm doing things that nobody's ever done before, then if you don't believe in me, if you don't like
Believe in
me,
the works.
at least believe the work. Believe what you're seeing before your very eyes. You know, I had a video. People were talking about what's your proof for God's existence or whatever. And I showed this video that was created by biologists at the highest levels.
Wild.
And it was originally shared not by a Christian, but by Richard Dawkins.
Right.
And it was literally, they used the terms, this is a micro machine. They talked about turbines, etc., and assembly lines.
Incredible.
All at the invisible cellular level. And they were talking about how DNA formed and all the rest of it. And you had all these, and I'm like, there you go, that's why. And people are like, oh, the blonde watchmaker thing. Like, they have these immediate arguments, but they're not thinking it through. Ladies and gentlemen, if I go to a beach and I see a brilliant design because the waves and the sand and all the rest of it, okay, it looks aesthetically pleasing and maybe there might be a pattern there, but that is easily explicable from a naturalistic perspective. But dear listener, if on the same beach, on the same sand dune, there's a sign that says, if you want to ride the wave runners, the keys are here and the wave runners are over there. That sign was made by an intelligent individual. That didn't come about by nature, and I'm not looking at that sign and assuming it was made by someone because I'm looking for patterns. There's a difference between incidental patterning and directions and information and machinery.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
So I show this video of these biologists who recreated this machine. And then you've got one strand that has to go this way and the other strand has to go the other way. And then they curve and make an assembly line, and the turbines are as fast as an airplane, they said.
Yeah.
It was a spinning and so people who see this for the first time are not looking to say, I need to pause and think that through. They immediately just go to canned arguments that do not work.
Yep.
And that's why Jesus said, if you don't believe me, at least believe what you're seeing. Because you would never... I had a guy tell me that it's possible that a rock could have written Romeo and Juliet. He literally...
I remember that, actually.
But that's where you have to go. That's where you have to go. So I'm sorry, like when I hear about the blind faith stuff, I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It just seems to me like we choose what we want to believe or not want to believe based on what the implications are. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me. It's just what it looks like to me. Wheezy says, if there's a God, why are there multiple religions? Well, that for the same reason that there are multiple political parties. Human beings are sinners, and we want to live life our own way. And so we construct religions that reflect our desires. So, for example, I was sitting with one of my Muslim friends. Shout out to the Muslims in the world. I was sitting with one of my Muslim friends, and I said, okay, you got one religion that says you can have up to 4 wives, and that if you go to war, you can have an unlimited amount of concubines that you can have endless sex with. You got another religion that says if you even look at a woman with lust in your heart, you're guilty. I said, Hussein, which religion sounds like a man created it? And which religion sounds like God created it?
Also, their heaven is rivers of wine and virgins.
Right. He said, Wallahi, I'm not going to answer that question. So I'm not going to answer that question.
Wallahi, I'm not going to.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, why ever not? That's an answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then again, like the people who say, oh, I don't operate on faith, like this has happened over and over on this show. Where I've said, do you believe the Big Bang happened? Yes. Were you there to observe it? No. How do you know it happened? Well, the red shift. How do you know that the interpretations of the red shift are accurate? Well, the scientists said it. Which scientists? I don't know. I read it in a book. You take all of that by faith.
Yep.
The average person, everything that you know about science is all faith. You haven't seen the vast majority of proof for any of this stuff.
Right.
And even if you did see something on redshift, how do you know that what that scientist is saying about the redshift is true?
It's crazy.
Because just one more thing. There have been multiple cases in which scientists, good night, there's this concept called scientific racism that was affirmed by peer review, which was that black people were inherently, ontologically, a lower subspecies of Homo sapien than white people. And it was affirmed by the scientific community. And if the North wouldn't have won the Civil War, it would be settled fact. That's just a fact. That's a fact.
Right.
So when people say, oh, we can trust the scientists because of peer review, that's not true. As a matter of fact, peer review has proven to be one of the most weakest ways of corroborating information. It's just, go ahead, say what you're going to say.
I don't remember. Yeah, I agree with you. We've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah. You none of you have observed the Big Bang. It's impossible. So I just wish people would be honest. You don't believe in the Big Bang because you saw evidence. You don't believe you believe in the Big Bang on faith. Period. End of story. Like, that's it. That's why you believe it. And so what I would say is, I think logically, look, we talked about this in the other one, the hard problem of consciousness. And the issue of the origin of life. These are things that scientists haven't even gotten anywhere close to being able to understand. And there are many scientists, Hoffman being one, that says you're never going to be able to boot up consciousness from matter. That's never going to happen. Science is never. This is the other thing where people who reject God but hold to science are completely men and women of faith. It's because I'll say, explain the hard problem of consciousness to me. They say, we can't. Then I say, okay. And then they go, but we're going to figure it out later on. That's an act of, that's faith. That's faith. And look, there's a difference between a very difficult puzzle and a mystery and a logical inconsistency. The scientific method is based on logic. It's beholden to logic. So there is never going to be a scientist that discovers a square circle. It's not like there's going to be some part of the universe where square circles exist. It's logically impossible for matter to boot up consciousness. We've never seen that happen, and we never will. So that's my issue. My issue is, let's just be honest here.
Right.
And then here's Alan. You can't test the Bible. Wrong again, Alan. For example, Alan, the Bible says that Pontius Pilate was procurator of Rome. He was. Okay? And there are not many historical records about Pontius Pilate, by the way. There's about 2 or 3. And one of those is the New Testament, which mentions him, throughout all the Gospels. But I'm just taking it as one source. So, guys, we got to do a little bit more research and think through our arguments a little bit more. Okay? And we need to familiarize ourselves with the worldview of the people that we're disagreeing with. Because if you don't, then I think you're robbing yourself. You're at a disadvantage. And look, at the end of the day, I'm more and more convinced that belief and unbelief is more of an act of volition than cognition, meaning it's more of an act of the will, what we want to be true, versus people trying to pretend that they're just objectively observing facts and that's how they came to the conclusion. That is not how human beings operate. You're not an android. You don't sit there and just logically deduce something and that's how you come to. No. There's a bunch of things. There's your background. There's your history. There's your experiences. There's your inclinations. Look, if there was a religion that said everybody with a certain type of melanin count is a bad person, I am by default not going to want to believe that religion is true. And I'm going to go out of my way to prove that it's wrong. And if people cannot acknowledge that, it's like people that say, oh, you just hold on to religion because you want a crutch. And I say, of course. And then I say, and you hold on to your atheism because you want to believe that there is no accountability for you so you can live your life your way because you don't want to be beholden to God.
Yep.
And they won't admit it.
Yep. It's true.
Can we at least admit that it's like part of the motive, or a perk of unbelief? Can we admit this is a denialism? And you know, we
some people admitted it.
Yeah,
Remember we were
I agree with that
video.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree.
And he
with
had
that.
gone onto the campus. It was a college campus.
Yep.
And he was talking to that one guy, and he and that was the discussion that they had. He was talking about like the laws of God or something, and then he said to him like, don't you think it's kind of peculiar?
Now here's Daniel. The authors of the Bible were around at the time, so obviously they would know this basic fact. Daniel, according to many atheists, the New Testament was written hundreds of years after Jesus. So no, it's not that obvious. Secondly, Daniel, as I said, there's only about 2 or 3 sources that mention Pontius Pilate outside of the New Testament. So no, they would not have known that unless they were there. But I agree with you. But what you just said, it does not go with the standard atheist argumentation about the New Testament. But I appreciate it. If you believe that the authors of the New Testament were contemporary to Pontius Pilate, excellent. Great. You're almost on the team, Daniel.
Let's start running the water.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I love the song. I like, you know, I understand where he's coming from. I just think that this is kind of entry level. Okay, so now I promise you, Aladdin, I'm not trying to mess with you, right? So Aladdin 131 says the Bible was manipulated hundreds of years after Jesus. Okay. Aladdin, where's your proof for that? What do you mean it was manipulated? And get us the evidence for that. What are you talking about? This is just one example. The Bible was manipulated hundreds of years after Jesus. Okay, Aladdin, what is the proof for that? Where's your evidence? Don't do that. Give him time.
That's what they do on Jeopardy when they're giving you the time.
I know, but you're being funny.
No, I'm trying to keep people occupied while we're just sitting here.
Okay. I'll give you guys a spoiler. Okay. He's not going to produce anything because what he's saying isn't true. But this stuff just gets thrown out. Look, here's Daniel. He says, that doesn't discount all the other ridiculous nonsense in the Bible. So Daniel makes a false assertion, right? He makes a completely false assertion, right? Gets proven completely wrong. And instead of saying, holy shit, I was wrong, what does he do? Well, there's other nonsense in the Bible. Okay, that tells me that information and logic is not the only way that Daniel comes to conclusions about these topics, right? Because if it was, then you would adjust for that and say, holy shit, I was wrong, right? But what does he do? Well, what about this? Okay. All right. A lot of Hitchens and Matt Dillahunty fanboys. Here's Daniel. If you would introduce the Bible to an adult for the first time, they would never believe it. Daniel, Soraya and I have introduced the Bible for the first time to lots of adults, and they ended up getting baptized and becoming insane Christians who are more fundamental than we are.
Right.
Daniel can be forgiven because, honestly, he's a kid. Like, literally, he's like 14 years old. All the different versions, the existence of the Eastern and Western churches. Okay, a different translation, the NIV and the ESV, is not a manipulation of the Bible. The existence of Eastern and Western churches has to do with personality and theological conflicts. That has nothing to do with the Bible. That is not proof that it was manipulated in any way, shape, or form. That makes no sense whatsoever. Furthermore, Roman Catholics don't even believe in the doctrine of sola scriptura. And if the Bible could be easily manipulated, there'd be no reason for them to reject sola scriptura. So you have no actual evidence to say what you're talking about. A translation. Listen, the Bible was written in Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, okay? And so if you're going to read it in English, it's obviously a translation. it is ridiculous to say that because something is translated from the original language to the language of the common people, that is a form of manipulation, especially considering all of us now in 2021. I mean, I've got software that can tell you the Greek lemma, the Hebrew lemma, how many times the word has been used in the Old Testament, the sentence structure, what tense it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of this is just people not knowing much about the information that they're dealing with. Okay, so there you go. So much love to everybody. It was a really, really fun song. I'm giving it a 10. I'm giving it an absolute 10. What do you give it?
9.3.
9.3. What kept it from a 10?
Probably because I don't agree with the lyrics. So
what? You don't agree? Yeah, I don't agree with the lyrics either.
And crushing the face of God. It's like,
okay, I want to end with this because Emily says, fair to say, many of us don't know our shit about the actual texts and teachings in the Bible. We're basing on our personal experiences of religion, often awful. So this dude is gay, right? The Gaul from Gorgoroth is gay. Okay. And you could just imagine how he has been treated. I mean, we saw in the documentary, people came to his place and were attacking him and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I have a hard time with hitting him on the lyrics because I'm almost certain the man has probably had horrible experiences with Christians. Horrible. Mm-hmm. And so when a person has been hurt by representatives of Christianity, I have a hard time being like, what do you mean he's gone now? I hope he didn't die. Did he die?
Or maybe he's talking about somebody that was in the chat.
No, Gaul was the lead singer of Gorgoroth or whatever. He was the guy that did the band and all that. I hope he didn't die. Oh no. No. He was in the band till 2007. He's still alive. Okay, so maybe he's out of the band. Okay, he left the band. Whew, okay. So that was in 2007. When was the song written? I cannot. I'm so mad that they changed the thingamajiggy. Wow. So frustrating. What year was this song written? 2009. So he was out of the band. So this is not even Gaul. This is somebody else. The guy's name is Pest. Gaul isn't in the song. It's Pest. Okay. So maybe Pest had a bad experience with religion. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe he had a bad experience with religion, and he was, So anytime I see something like that, crushing the face of God, yada yada yada, I always assume that it's because we hurt them. Mm-hmm. So when I see that, I go, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Really, really good song. Really good song. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 10, and you're just wrong. There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Daniel, the biggest miracle I could perform would be getting a Jambi to stop doing little snipey comments and actually come on and defend his position. Because it's been a year, and Jambi doesn't seem very big on actually coming on and defending his positions. So there's that. Dude, Alan, that song, man, that was a good song. Musicianship was crazy. It was a really, really good jam. It was a good way to really end the stream. Alan, are you good with the hey Delaney, what's up? Alan, are you good with the Cradle of Filth thing? I know it's your stream, so it's up to you, big bro. If you say no, we'll just end it. And if not, cool. Yeah, Alan, dude, you had a really, really good set of song picks for sure. He did a really, really good job. The next stream, I think the next stream, you know what? Sori's not here. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. I'm not y'all. I'm not y'all. There's Daniel Montgomery. Why doesn't God perform miracles anymore? I reject that assertion. I'm a recipient of one of God's miracles. I'm a recipient of one of God's miracles. So I just disagree with you. M Death stream. Are you up next, M Death? Is your stream up next? Here's Jambi. Friday night. Okay. I think we've got, I don't know if Friday's scheduled or not, but if Friday's scheduled, I'm going to go ahead and bet $10 that Jambi's not going to come on. Come on now, Jambi. Come on now. Come on and have a conversation, Jambi. He doesn't do it like he used to. How do you know that, Daniel? Daniel, isn't it interesting? You keep making these assertions, then you get answered a question. You don't even acknowledge the question's been answered. You just go to another accusation. Does that sound like an honest actor who's really trying to seek the truth, Daniel? Couldn't God have created the Big Bang? I believe that. I believe God created the Big Bang. I'm not against the Big Bang. I'm just simply pointing out that if you believe the Big Bang happened, you believe that on faith. You don't believe that because of logic and evidence. That's what I'm saying. It was hard to keep Rivers of Nihil, Opeth, Mastodon, etc. out of it. Yeah, man, but you had Isaac. I'm just telling you. Don't get really excited about it. I doubt very highly that Jambi's going to come on. This has been a standard discussion with this guy, and he never jumps on, and I don't think he ever will. Who did God give your ego to, Vin? I don't know. AT, because I'm not certain that what people are calling ego is just simple conviction, right? So I don't know that a person who's convicted and believes what he's saying can be characterized as having a big ego. But I don't care either way. It doesn't really matter to me. I have witnessed mysticism. So have I. If God wants me to believe in him so much, why won't he perform a miracle or talk to me? Well, Daniel, there's a couple of reasons. One is I'm not certain that God hasn't talked to you. Because actually the Bible talks about this. In Job 33, it says, why do you contend against him, saying he will answer none of man's words? But God does speak in one way and in two, though man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of night, when deep sleep falls on men, etc., etc. So, number one, I don't believe that God hasn't spoken to you, Daniel. God has spoken to you through me. The issue is you don't want to hear what he has to say. And I just think you need to reconcile yourself to that, Daniel. Secondly, God is not a circus animal that jumps through our hoops. Hey, perform a miracle for us, God. That's not how it works. He's given you a miracle. It's called the resurrection. Right? So if that hoop wasn't enough for you, I think it's pretty arrogant to tell God, hey, you created this entire universe and you created microscopic machines that we're just now discovering, but do something else for me. Guys, listen. The very fact that existence is a thing is the biggest miracle that they can be, right? Guys, the origin of life, think about this. The origin of life from a non-living source, which is what you have to believe if you're an atheist. The origins of life from a non-living source is a bigger miracle than Jesus' resurrection, right? Because in the resurrection, what we're saying is Jesus had a principle of life, he lost it, and then it was returned to him. What you're saying, Alan, or Daniel, is that there was a time when there was no life whatsoever, and then it sprang into being. So that's actually a bigger miracle than a resurrection, right? Now here's AT. There's something because there is nothing. That makes no logical sense, brother. I'm sorry. If there was ever nothing, then all there would be nothing, right? 0 plus 0 is always going to equal 0. Isn't that true? I'm just going to play this game. I'm going to answer 2 more Daniel's questions. If everything needs to have a cause, where did God come from? Everything in the natural world needs to have a cause. God is outside of the natural world. That's what makes him God, right? As Neil says, there's no such thing as nothing. Right, because if there ever was nothing, all there would be is nothing. So the fact that there is not nothing means that there had to be an eternal something, right?
Water.
That's what Schopenhauer said, after life we will be what we were before our birth. I'm feeling that. That's yeah. So hold on. Did Alan give us a green? Alan, are we good? He did?
He did.
Okay. All right, guys. So we got one more. We've got one more. Look. See, Daniel, this is why I'm telling you that you should not be hopeful. This is why I'm telling you shouldn't be hopeful that Jamie's going to call. 0 plus 0 always equals 0. Vin plus religion always equals delusion. So he gets confronted with a logical pretzel, and so he just goes back to insulting me. That's Jambi. Mm-hmm. That's he's not going to come on. Mm-hmm. He's not going to come on. I don't believe it. Freud gets too much attention. Yeah, I agree. Jung. I think Jung should get some love. Friday night, Vincent. Okay. All right. Okay. Friday. Do we have a stream schedule for Friday?
I think so. But maybe after the stream. Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Jambi. Let's see. You're going to call me up. All right. Let's see it.
Oh, actually.
Are we good on Friday or what?
Yeah, we might be able to be.
Okay, Becky, you might not want to leave because we got Cradle of Filth coming. We got Cradle of Filth. Jung, not. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Jung, Jung. Jung. What's her face? Amy Lee. Put that comment up from Amy. Put that comment up from Jung. Emily, you're gonna love this. Watch this. Amy, post that thing from Jung that you did about the fate thing
before being born.
The fate thing. He did something. He Shiloh on Subing. Later, Shiloh. Oh, see. Because Daniel told him to get on with me.
What people don't ask him, what the fuck you doing?
Jambi, bro, stop hiding behind your keyboard. Shout out to Jambi, yo. That's my brother. Shout out to Jambi. All right, guys, we got one more joint for you. We got Cradle of Filth. It's a brand new joint. Look, guys, if we die out, hang out. That's because Cradle. I'm gonna play the official video because it looks pretty cool, and that's because Cradle is probably gonna block it. So, Nuclear Blast Records. So, I'm gonna pull up. Do me a favor, get those lyrics, and we're gonna do this shit because Cradle of Filth, bro.
Crawling
Come on,
King.
Come on, Cradle of Filth. You got to do it. Shout out to the big homie Jambi. I ain't mad at you, bro. Don't be mad at him. Don't be mean to him in the comments section, y'all. It's Jambi. That's the homie. There it is. Okay, MJ, look at this quote, MJ. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Isn't that crazy?
Wait. Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember.
That quote is insane. That's a quote of the year, bro. That is a quote of the year. Neil Byrne in the house. All right, guys.
No, I only got through half of my emails today, and Archero was not on the half that got completed.
This is one of his grandmother's favorite bands is Cradle of Filth.
What?
Holy moly. Yo, listen. if you can get me evidence that your grandmother is a Cradle of Filth fan, I will get you a free song, bro. Dead ass. I will get you a free song if you can do that, because that would be great. That would be 100% amazing. All right, guys. One more, guys. Huh?
Can you just look in the camera?
This again, Peter.
Please, count to 30.
Why are you doing that?
Because look at
It's
the camera,
been like
please.
this the whole. It's been like this the whole
I know,
time.
but I'm the editor, right?
Oh my goodness. Get me the evidence. I'll get you a new song. All right, guys. Hold up. We got Cradle of Filth coming. Do me a favor. Go to the thing and put Cradle of Filth in the title. Just put Cradle of Filth and then the title of song in the title.
Yes.
And we're about to do the commercial, y'all. So let's go. New stream. Okay, Isabella, don't worry about it because we're doing a brand new Cradle of Filth song. So we're at the very, very end, but our DJ AT has kindly allowed for it. So give us a second, okay? Ben,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
To buy our merch. Okay, guys. We just got done a DJ stream from the big homie AT. And this is
now we have a bonus
This
for
is
you.
a bonus. From time to time, dear listener, we do bonus tracks because just because. So if you want to do a DJ stream, it's a 4-song minimum, and so that's what AT did. Now Cradle of Filth just came out with a new joint called Crawling King, and our DJ AT was kind enough to say yes, you guys can do it. So we're gonna watch it. And then we're going to comment on it, and there we are. So having said that, here we go. Cradle of Filth, Crawling King Chaos. Let's do it. Fear.
Nothing's gonna hit this
heard that vocal trick yet. Disgusting.
The whole world is his church now. A seismic paradigm shift to chaos.
Whoa. Whoa.
A puppet reached the compass. A puppet sees the goddess. A puppet reached the compass. A puppet sees the goddess. A puppet reached the compass. A puppet being a puppet propaganda. The beast is fighting. I can't survive the core of everything accelerating. 2 days of avenging more. The beast is fighting. I'm the lit vital. Stood down, blitz past humanity. Into that looming horror school. Scattered with limbs, 6 feet is blood. In need of crossing verbal terminus rising to this world of physical function of the earth. Mountain secret purpose, fire, spice, the forest black. Our billions bleed the offspring. Pain as you work, it's like a bus. Inspiring the wild like all of time. It will be a destiny that we never wait this time. Lightning breaks and united days A puppet reached the compass. A puppet sees the goddess. A puppet reached the compass. A puppet sees the goddess. A puppet reached the compass. A puppet being a puppet propaganda. The beast has whispered behind the sun. The beast is navigated for everything and everyone. The beast has whispered, terrified the door for a burning footprint on a visual sending the
Oh no. And we didn't get it blocked. Shout out to Daniel Filth for that. Shout out to the big homie, Lindsay Schoolcraft. Boom, 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 boom. You know, they moved on from each other. Lindsay's out there doing big things with Antiqua and all that jazz. Shout out to Lindsay Moff Schoolcraft. I don't know the new person there, but you know, I'm sure she's mega talented and all the rest of that. But I love me some Lindsay, and she's always going to be my favorite Cradle person. So there's that. Shout out to the guitar. I met the guitarist. The guitarist was cool. Remember we went to a Cradle show, and I should have wore my shirt, man. My Danny Filth is a bitch shirt or whatever it was.
No, that wasn't it.
I should have rocked that. I should have wore that shit. Wore that shit.
Well, there'll be another opportunity, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think it'd be a little bit different, though. A little bit different. Situations have changed.
Oh.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The video, it just looked like it was on Main Street in hell. Like, he literally looked like he was in hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get to see the lyrics here because I was watching the video.
Yeah, like
I started out, I wanted to focus on the lyrics, but then
yeah, I called you over because the visuals were just so captivating. Okay, Apophis is apparently an asteroid that could kill 10 million people.
Oh, that's nice.
So when he's calling for Apophis, he's calling for this
the end of the
asteroid.
world.
Well, no, it only killed 10 million people. I mean, there's 8 billion people on the planet. I don't even think that's 1%.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it would cause severe destruction, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So he's calling for, like, destruction. Senior Clay goes, positive message.
Yeah. Somebody else said, I think it was Overshadowed. They were like, they're always such a happy band.
Danny Filth is one of the best writers. No, Danny Filth is the greatest writer of all time in metal. Period.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you.
There's nobody close to this dude. Danny Filth
we'll
is
have
like
to see. I got to look these lyrics.
Danny Filth is like Shakespeare level good. He really, really is. Okay. So what did you think about the music? There was a middle part that was really heavy, sounded almost Metallica like. What did you think of that? What did you think of the musicianship?
I have a funny relationship with Cradle of Filth. Sometimes I really, really like them, and sometimes I'm like, it sounds kind of the same. So this song, that's why the lyrical content is very important. So I would like to get into the lyrics before I comment on the rest.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I don't know what the lyrics are. I thought we were going over it together.
Yeah, read it.
Okay. Ravaged are the heavens, 7 angels are deployed, the seals delivered to return us to the void. And waiting on the cusp of many dusks of man, he watches as the masses seek a fake salvation as he breeds annihilation.
Jeez.
Now death is law, venom dripping from the mouth of madness, incites the rights of war. Prepare the heights of empire for the agonizing fall. The beast is rising, unwrithed in flame. Is that? The soundtrack bleeds insanity. His theme, the screaming end of days. Come, crawling King Chaos, come. So what was that character that was, it looked like it was a king? He was wearing a crown, but he was like chained up and his hands
I think that's King Chaos. I think the point is like, he's like summoning King Chaos out of his chains or whatever. I think that was the idea. Because he's saying, come, King Chaos.
Sing his name in rapture, wormwood bitter, spat in tongues, of ancient pandemonia for the ghosts all shall become. See, I don't think this one's as good as they usually are.
What? Now death is law? That's a brilliant line.
Yeah.
And yeah, esoteric Hermes. That's what I was thinking too. That he was some sort of like a titan. You know, the titans are kept up in chains and all the rest of it. Which is really interesting because there's a class of demons in the New Testament that are kept in gloomy. They're actually
chained in gloomy darkness.
In Tartarus, the Greek word Tartarus is actually used in that passage in, I think it's 2 Peter. So, there's some of that interplay. Come, crawling King Chaos, come. That is really brilliant alliteration. Now, it's technically not alliteration because there's a K, but come, crawling King Chaos, come essentially functions like alliteration. They did a really, really good job. Sing his name in rapture, wormwood bitter, spat in tongues of ancient pandemonia. So pandemonium is when everything is just chaotic and crazy. It's pandemonium. Yeah. So that comes from the Greek word pandemonia, which is probably some city or something where stuff went like completely crazy, right? Apophis was the Egyptian god of chaos, often depicted as a serpent. Of course, Vlad has the knowledge for us. That Vlad and Perkinos always have the knowledge for us. Okay, so that makes sense why they would name that comet Apophis.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's going to cause chaos and destruction. Waiting for the cusp of many dusts of man, he watches as a mass to seek a fate of salvation. He breeds annihilation. Now death is the law. Death is law. That's hard. That's hard.
Why? Why do you like that line so much?
Now death is law? That's just gangster. That's some gangster shit. Death is the law. What? Yeah. That's crazy. You're just in a mood, so you're not going to like any of this shit. Prepare the heights of empire for the agonizing fall. The beast is rising and wreathed in flames. The soundtrack breeds insanity. His theme, the screaming end of days. Okay, so this song is about like destruction, the chaos, the undoing, the tohu lavohu type situation. Mm-hmm. And so Peterson talks about this, like a left brain and the right brain, right? Yeah. So you got I think it's left brain people are more geared toward order. Right brain people are more geared toward novelty. And so there's that interplay. If you have too much order, you have boredom. If you have too much novelty, you have chaos. Mm-hmm. And so, and then, that gets fleshed out in even politically. Mm-hmm. So you have some people that are attracted to novelty, like, hey, wait a second, maybe we can have interracial marriage, or maybe we can have, like let's throw off these social conventions and think outside the box, right? Mm-hmm. And then what happens is there's a bunch of other people that react to that and say, we're losing our society. Everything's going crazy. We need to conserve our society because this thing is going out into chaos. Mm-hmm. So that's where you get a conservative. That's where conservatives come from. Oh, okay. They're trying to conserve the order because you got all these other people who are attracted to all this societal novelty. Mm-hmm. And what they know at a subliminal level is if you have too much novelty, you're going to end up in societal chaos.
Right.
But what happens is the other folks know that if you have too much order, you end up not necessarily with boredom. What too much order creates in a political context is tyranny. Mm-hmm. It creates fascism. Because if it becomes way too difficult to order a society to the degree that a lot of these folks want to without initiating some sort of police state or police force, right?
Right.
So that is sort of the conflict of the human experience, right? Like you gotta have a balance between order and novelty. Chaos doesn't balance order. I don't think chaos balances order. It's the opposite of order, but it doesn't balance order. Novelty balances order.
Define novelty?
So novelty is something that's outside of the norm but doesn't become the norm itself. So for example, a roller coaster, right? That's novelty. So like,
but there's still order.
Right. You can't be on a roller coaster all your life. Right? Like there's some context in which being on a roller coaster is good, and there's some context in which roller coasters are bad. Right? And so, yeah, I think people are right here. In that sense, you do have dualism, right? That is a sort of a dualistic sort of idea. And so, I think Danny looks at religion as being too ordered, almost like fascistically ordered. And so, and there's an entire, what's that dude? The dude that killed himself, the satanic guy, like, and the dude from Vatain is also like they're part of this chaos, Satanism, yada 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 yada, and like the religion is like completely almost devoted completely to chaos, and chaos becomes like the highest value.
And it's not my type of religion,
but it makes sense because when you look at Genesis 1, what does God do? He orders chaos. He orders the waters of chaos. In the ancient world, the waters were always symbolic of chaos and all the rest of it. And that's why darkness was on the face of the deep and all the rest of it. And then God, what he does is he separates things and he orders things. And so to them, the ultimate sort of F you to God is chaos. Because I'm undoing everything that you've done.
Yeah.
And if I can accomplish eternal chaos, that means I've beaten God. Right? So... John from Dissection, unfortunately. Daniel, I'm very concerned that you know that. So, and, as Hermes says, we're simply attempting to tame the chaotic nature of nature. I agree with that, but why do we have that inclination? That's the question.
Yeah.
Why do we have the inclination towards order and novelty simultaneously? And, MJ says that explains the purgatory moderates serve to hang out in the served to hang out in all the time. Pretty much. God did not make tohu and bohu. They rebelled and wrecked the place. No, tohu lavohu is Hebrew, DJ, for without form and void. So chaotic.
Yeah.
So when it says the earth was without form and void, the Hebrew word is tohu lavohu, without form, lavohu, and void. So, and then of course Becky says, without order, you get certain people, and I'm not even going to touch that one. You divided the sea by your might. You broke the heads of the dragons in the waters. It was the dragons. I think is Leviathan is a Hebrew word, which goes to the early myth of Leviathan and all the rest of it. So yeah, like I like the song because it looks like this is not just regular like, oh, I'm gonna destroy God, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go to. We just got done listening to Gorgoroth. But this one was more like really focusing on the chaotic nature of that. That aspect of it. Did you have any other thoughts on it lyrically or what?
No, not really. I thought that the music video looked fun, as far as not fun like.
No, I
just
see what
the
you're
way that they put the lighting and the way that they were moving, and I think like I didn't have like a deep love for Cradle of Filth, so if they change people out, it doesn't like bother me. Like a little bit it did, like when there was that other girl in there, I felt a little bit like, well, you don't belong in there, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, like that girl's she's part of the team, you know.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it helps me to say, well, Lindsay went on to something else and she's doing her thing. So that's really good.
Shout out to Lindsay Schoolcraft. Yeah. Greatest of all time. Boop, boop, boop. Boom, boom.
But yeah, I think that, I don't know, it was, what was the girl that would like spit blood into the candle? What was that?
That was just shocking and gross.
It worked. Yeah, I actually don't really have a whole lot to say because that's exactly where I want to focus on the lyrics. Come crawling King Chaos, come. It's interesting because in Revelation it says that the bride and
yes.
Who? The bride and
the spirit and the bride say
spirit
come.
And the bride say come.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Like, I think that one thing that we can see definitively about Danny is that he knows a lot about a lot of things.
100%.
And like you said, he has a command of the English language. Like you have this, you use these words and you can go from using big words to, common words, and you can just, it's easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can talk to kids or you can talk to, big name people that have ideas about stuff. But anyway.
Big name people.
But I think
big name people. I don't talk to any big name people.
Yeah,
except for Slipknot 2K Sean. Go ahead, keep going.
So yeah, I think that
Sean, I didn't see the picture,
good.
bro.
I just didn't think that this
Send it to vinatory@gmail.com. Go ahead,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
didn't think that this one was as good as the other ones have been.
I wanted to hear that melody that I usually hear with the girl, and I didn't necessarily hear that like that, but maybe that's because I'm trying to read, Lindsay into the situation. But I do agree with Esoteric Hermes that it is Shakespearean fashion.
Look at the ending. The beast has risen, tearing wide the door for our burning footprint on a cindered world, sinning no more. A cindered world, sinning no more.
That seems like it might be a reference to climate change, actually. Our burning footprint, because they talk about our footprint, right? And so the song is about chaos. It's about all this other stuff, right?
Yep.
And so, wow. So really,
wow. Look at this part. Okay. Mountains heave, great murmurs, fires raise the forest black. As billions flee the horsemen, creation wounded staggers back.
Right.
Okay, that's a good line.
So that it is a good line, and it appears that this might be a Cradle of Filth doing some social commentary here.
Yeah.
If you You know that, but that's the thing. Like with a band like Cradle, like you can get distracted by the visuals and the offense and kind of miss what he's really saying. But if this is climate change, which of course could result in actual, you know what I'm saying? Like it could really just result in the chaos and destruction that he's lamenting. Okay, guys, listen. Look at this. Look at this. This right here. So I've got a little bro. You
can make it bigger.
I got a little bro on this channel. His name is Sean.
That's his grandmother.
That's his grandmother. He said my grandmother is a Cradle of Filth fan. I was like, bullshit, bro. Your grandmother ain't no Cradle of Filth fan. Stop lying. And he's like, I'll send you a picture. I said, if you send me a picture your grandmother is a Cradle of Filth fan, I will get you a free song. Well, what can you do?
Here it is.
What can you do? Yo, Grandma's a metalhead. Shout out to Grandma.
And she doesn't even look old enough to be a grandma.
She's not playing with y'all. Look, I mean, Sean is like 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's not that old of a guy. Proof positive. That is some real gangster shit right there.
I'm like processing this. I'm like, what?
And she must be a super fan because Shorty got backstage. There's the big homie Danny. I think that was their old guitarist.
Imagine if I like Googled people with Danny Filth and like it was just in the Google pictures. He just like picked some random one.
Oh.
That would be so smart. And you know what? If I found out, I'd still give you the song anyway.
Yeah.
For being so smart.
All right, 2K Sean. She's older than 50. Don't tell her age. Hey, Sean, ask her if she's cool with us making this a thumbnail for the video. Okay. All right. So grandma's legit. Okay. Sean gets a free song. Holy moly. So Sean, if you want to do a DJ stream, you can save that as one of your songs. So you'll only have to do 3. So there you go. So shout out to the big homie, Sean. My grandma watches Judge Judy and bitches about her neighbors like a real grandma should. That's real grandmaism there.
Yep.
But shout out to Sean's grandma. Holy moly. The metal community is
no joke.
Extremely diverse. Holy shit. Well, guys, we're out of here. Shout out.
The end, my friend.
We have Wiedersehen. We've reached the end, my friends.
Ellen, thanks for letting us throw in an extra.
Okay, all right. Slipknot, Sean, you're 22, not 14. My bad. Yes, Esoteric Hermes. Yes. Thank you for coming along. Glad to see you, buddy. We're going to have to get you a little DJ horn as well. And we also got to get, what's his name? Vicarious Jambi, a horn as well. Actually, this is a horn. That wasn't for Jambi. That was actually for,
Ben Webb for coming back.
Ben Webb, yeah. This is Jambi's horn, guys.
Babe! As if you did
that. Of course, the mighty Perkinos. Boop, 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 boop. And Mike, who was texting me earlier, if you're still there. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Vin.